All right, gang, we're back at you with another video of who got shot. So we're doing a reaction video today. Again, we do these videos of either police encounters, civilian encounters, and things like that. Today we have a video from what looks like the Brooklyn area in New York. That would be East Flatbush, a place where I know very, very well. It is a tough part of town, folks. But let's go ahead and watch this video. So we see a downstairs neighbor making a noise complaint, approaching his upstairs neighbor about noise. And so he, I guess, knocked on the door. And it seems like he actually maintained some distance. In typical Flatbush fashion, we answer our door with no shoes and no shirt. And then after he comes out, decides 2 seconds like, hey, I might want to shirt it up. So he goes back in to shirt it up and actually grab an object. Now, while this occurs, and because already this is clear that emotions are running high, okay, where the emotions of the receiving party, the neighbor that got knocked on, wife comes out, and maybe even kid or family member comes out, while our main contact guy is going to shirt it up and go grab an object. This is never a good thing. Okay, we don't want emotions running high. Okay, you know, especially when something that, hey, a noise complaint or something like that, we don't need to go ahead and approach each other in such a confrontational or combative way. Now, if you have a neighbor who is approaching you and they're knocking on your door and you're already kind of like, hey, what do you want? And I'm suspect of you. Before you open the door, you might want to do a few things like put some shoes on, put a shirt on. And if you feel so much so compelled, then go get your object or what have you. And in this case, we have a pair of scissors. Okay, I guess we don't have a gun and we don't have a knife. We're going for scissors. And it probably could be that the homeowner has a gun or a knife or something like that, but emotions are running so high, we're just looking for the first thing that we can use. So now, guy comes back out, thankfully has a shirt on and shoes on, with a pair of scissors, but now he's trying to get his wife and, say, kid back out of the equation. This is where now, as the person making the noise complaint, the neighbor, you got three people on one kind of thing. This is where people are coming out of their houses and whatnot. Not a good scene. Not a good scene. Okay. So the complainant is effectively trying to keep himself towards the stairs so that way he can escape, don't get cornered or don't get in a place where you can't evade. And he's doing a good job at that. And the guy, who is a fairly large guy, I would not want to approach this guy. He's got him by at least 3 inches, and he's coming at him with a knife ready to go. We're not even talking yet. We went from maybe talking to straight to here's a pair of scissors in your face. Okay? At that point, complaining is just like, hey man, I just wanted to ask you to turn it down a little bit. Okay? Well, this gets a little hairy. And of course, emotions run high. And even so much so that the homeowner pushes his wife back. Okay? And he's like, get back, lady. Thereby allowing the complainant to draw his gun. Now, emotions run high on both ends. Okay? So complainant draws gun and in not too much time unleashes. Looks like he puts in, and I gotta rewind this for a second. I gotta count for just a minute. We see 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 9, 10 rounds, 11. And the complainant not only shoots the homeowner, okay, but immediately after shooting the homeowner the first time, the son, in this case, tries to tackle him. He gives him a serving, and it sends one more, what looks like, to his head, and then goes down the hallway to the threshold of the door where the homeowner is lying down, and then puts one more in his head. 11 shots total were fired that I can count, and this guy is not even in slide lock. Another thing to note here is that, I don't know if you know, but New York is one of those states where you are not allowed to have magazines holding greater than 10. Well, a total of 11 shots were fired in this case, at least. I may have missed 1 or 2. So at least 11. Now, you might say, well, Ernie, he had 10 in the magazine, 1 in the chamber. Very, very well. I'll give you that. But on that 11th round, unless his gun was defective, that slide would have gone into to slide lock, which leads me to believe that that magazine held more than 10 rounds. Why am I really highlighting this? Well, in states like New York, New Jersey, California, wherever, it shows where, assuming in this particular case, where you have a defender, and I'm not saying at this point that the complainant was a defender at the time that he was shooting, because he did continue to fire once the threat was neutralized, so he no longer becomes the defender and becomes the aggressor. But where you see having to subdue 2 attackers takes more than 10 rounds. So there's the argument there. Now, let's go back to the situation at hand where he gives the original homeowner, a serving. The homeowner tries to get away. Son tries to tackle him. He goes ahead and shoots him. At that point in time, the threat per se was neutralized, and his job was to get out of Dodge. That is when, after that, he becomes the aggressor. So we see a lot of things here where emotions run high, and emotions can make us make bad decisions. So we see here where guy tries to be a decent complainant, doesn't go his way, and having to draw his firearm because his attacker is armed with something sharp, plus has the size on him. So justified in potentially drawing, but the manner in which he executes with that firearm is no bueno, folks. That's another thing where you have to be able to control your fires. You have to be able to shoot effectively and train to these things. It's one thing to have a gun. It's another thing to train not only in how to shoot, but also what is the legal and or proper use of force according to the confines of the law. So we see that. Overall, this could have been handled differently. It could have been a simple call your neighbor, and if you don't have their phone number, say, hey, excuse me, sir, I would just kindly ask you that you turn it down. I greatly appreciate it. And the minute he would have been back inside, I would have been gone. I would have been gone and leave it at that. Went back downstairs. Let him knock on my door. At that point, we're talking through the door and nobody gets hurt. Second to that, it would just be called the super, because in these buildings in New York, there's always a superintendent, i.e. the super, and you just mediate through the super, or if necessary, through the cops. And another thing to note here is that this whole video was actually seen and taken by the building security guard. A lot of these buildings, like this one, has a security guard on site, which have cameras like this one. So the security guard watched this all unfold. One, did nothing. Two, never called 911 or cops or anything like that. And then three, released this video on their own accord. Now, again, not all security guards are created equal. Bad moves on that one. I'm sure that security guard is probably no longer working for that security company. But even when you have, and you know, I lived in apartment buildings in my day, and I lived in apartment buildings that have security guards and whatnot. That's just a fuzzy teddy bear, folks. That doesn't mean that that security guard is coming to your rescue. So understand that you are your own first responder and you are your own defender, even when the heat of the moment occurs before any help can arrive. If you think all gun laws are an infringement and you live behind the enemy lines in the People's Republic of California, then check out our Unconvicted Felons t-shirt. We came out with this t-shirt design for you, where most of us are fed up with the situation here in California. So check it out. Check out our website. Awesome t-shirt coming at you, and our new line of 2 arms, where it stands for 2A Rights Matter. So check out our new t-shirt and help us feed our dog.